A brain-dead pregnant woman in Georgia is being kept alive on life support, allegedly against her family's wishes, until her baby reaches 32 weeks gestation and can be safely delivered. According to a fundraiser created by the woman's mother, Adriana went to the hospital in February complaining of excruciating headaches and was released shortly thereafter with nothing but a bit of medicine. Her mother claims that the hospital didn't run any tests or scans on her daughter prior to discharging her, and just days later, she was rushed back to the emergency room where multiple blood clots were discovered in her brain. She was declared brain dead just hours later. Adriana was then put on life support, allegedly against the family's wishes, where she remains today, waiting for her baby to be born closer to term. Of course, the media is feigning outrage over the story, referring to the woman as a human incubator and likening the situation to something out of The Handmaid's Tale, claiming new abortion bans in the US are to blame, that the new bans are stripping women of consent, autonomy, and dignity, which might just be the most bullshit statement I have ever heard in my life. Not only has the Attorney General of Georgia made an official statement that there's nothing in the Life Act that requires medical professionals to keep a woman on life support after brain death, there is also no such thing as a dead human incubator because the clinically brain dead are not dead.
They invented brain death mainly to get organs, but then also so they don't waste money on treating people who aren't ever going to get a job, who are just going to live and not die. And so to see what brain death is, it's primarily a way to get organs. You cannot get any organs from a cadaver. Every organ that's transplanted is a healthy organ, and you can only get healthy organs from living persons. You cannot get any organs for transplant from a cadaver.
People declared clinically brain dead wake up all the time, usually in the middle of organ harvesting, because brain death is a completely made-up term. In 2019, a man doctors expected to be brain dead woke up after his family switched off life support. In 2018, 13-year-old Trenton McKinley from Alabama woke up after he was diagnosed brain dead just one day before his organs were scheduled to be harvested. And just last year, a Kentucky man declared brain dead woke up in the middle of organ harvesting.
He was then thrashing around, crying, trying to pull his tube out. He was pushing everybody's hands away that were trying to prep and drape him for surgery. And it's kind of crazy, but the doctors decided we're absolutely not going to do this case. The CODA coordinator that was on site that day actually called CODA's admin for some guidance and was told, you will find another surgeon or you'll lose your job because we're going to complete this case.
But the media loves a good crisis and will never let it go to waste, so they're running with the story, claiming that the overturning of Roe v. Wade has forced doctors to provide substandard care. According to them, doctors are now waiting until their pregnant patients are on the brink of death before providing treatment, due to the fear of criminal charges. Oh, okay, so that's why they sent a pregnant woman whose brain was riddled with blood clots home with nothing more than a Tylenol 3. Because of the fear to act under the threat of abortion bans. Doctors do not need a reason to avoid doing their jobs. Substandard has been the standard of care for as long as I've been alive. So when I see a story like Adriana's, I can't help but wonder, what the hell is actually going on here? If the hospital has no real legal obligation to keep Adriana alive and her family doesn't want her kept alive, why are they doing it? Is Adriana being used to test the legal and physical limits of using brain-dead women for the purpose of growing babies? I know what I'm suggesting sounds like something straight out of Brave New World, but it's not as far-fetched as it sounds, as just 2 years ago, philosophy professor Anna Smader from Norway resurrected the idea to use brain-dead women as surrogates, an idea originally put forward back in 2000 by Rosalie Burr, an Israeli doctor and educator. Burr suggested that the global medical community should consider what she calls whole-body gestational donation, Women in a permanent vegetative state or who are declared brain dead could be used as unconscious surrogate mothers for people who, as the paper states, either wish to have children but cannot, or prefer not to gestate. But she goes on to say there's just one problem with the proposal. So-called brain-dead patients require a lot of resources to keep their bodies functioning. So get this, she suggests that brain death should be redefined to include people in a vegetative state. That's right, the demons who rule over us are considering expanding the already ill-defined medical condition of brain death to include people who are simply in a coma, because it's the cheapest and easiest way to produce babies in a world where surrogacy is increasing in popularity. And this Israeli doctor isn't just some nameless quack on the fringe pumping out her inane ideas into the abyss. If she was, I might actually be inclined to trust her. She is highly regarded in the medical community and has played a pivotal role in reshaping medical education across the world. And of course, all of this comes at a time when medical assistance in dying is expanding in countries like Canada, where 1 in 20 deaths are now the result of euthanasia. And just like Dr. Burr, ethicists are already exploring the idea of something called organ donation euthanasia. According to them, many of the organs in those who choose to end their own lives go to waste because dead organs are useless. So they're proposing a solution. Keep the donor alive and remove their organs under general anesthesia. Their death will follow the removal of their heart. Snatching your organs and renting out your womb while you're still alive isn't the only plan they have to increase their profit margins. Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, Canada have passed a law called Avery's Law, where everyone over the age of 19 is registered as an automatic organ donor unless they opt out. So if you didn't have death by the slow removal of your vital organs or death after the successful use of your womb to create an abomination baby for a gay couple on your bucket list, I'd say remove your name from that list, like yesterday. Every time there is a story in the media about how abortion bans almost killed a woman or created this horrific situation for a woman and her family, there is always a massive element of medical neglect. You know, with Adriana, we had this woman who went in with excruciating headaches and was sent home with nothing but some Flintstones vitamins instead of actually looking into the problem. We have Amber Thurman, I believe her name was, where she was sent home with abortion pills to have an abortion on her, by herself on her bathroom floor, like that was going to go over really well. But the one story that pisses me off to no end is the story of Amanda Zerwoski. I don't know if you guys remember her, but this was a really big story a couple of years ago. They ended up using it for the Biden campaign. She talked about how Trump's abortion bans were the reason she almost died and lost her baby and all this. And the reason this story pisses me off so much is because her pregnancy story is my exact pregnancy story, okay? Right down to her medical condition. It was the exact thing I went through during my pregnancy that resulted in the birth of a healthy, beautiful baby girl who is now 3 years old and thriving. I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, this is my exact story. And we have the media telling people that anyone who is in my situation has no option but to abort their baby. And I know that isn't true.